The major case response team of Alden Parker thinks Gabrielle LaRoche is the NCIS mole, but they could be mistaken about their new deputy director. In the season 22 opener of NCIS, Timothy McGee summoned the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, introducing the quasi-villain. At the time, Tim had no idea that LaRoche would beat him for a promotion, but they disagreed. When the senior field agent asks for all the information on the Nexus cartel and El Padre in NCIS season 22, McGee and LaRoche's strange interaction lays the stage for their distrusting relationship. When LaRoche first meets McGee, he is absorbed in his job. At the conclusion of the season 22 premiere, the DOJ inspector is promoted to deputy director of NCIS. However, in NCIS season 22, episode 1, LaRoche is looking into the agency that serves as the title. Inspector General LaRoche supports Parker's suspicion that NCIS has an intelligence leak after discovering unsuccessful React operations on the Nexus cartel. Additionally, Murda thinks that Nick Torres' cover was broken. Although Parker and the crew have figured out how React intelligence ended up in the wrong hands, MCRT is still baffled by how Nick managed to get past their LaRoche link. Since Gabrielle LaRoche is the only one who is aware that NCIS has an undercover agent outside the bullpen, Parker's MCRT believes the deputy director may be the NCIS mole. Only Inspector LaRoche had access to the NCIS secret operation report about Nick's case, as McGee informs Parker in the premiere. Tim concludes LaRoche is their mole as a result of the development. The fact that the IG turned down McGee's request to have access to the FBI, DEA, and Homeland Security files pertaining to their ongoing Nexus cartel investigations when the NCIS agent phoned LaRoche doesn't support his conclusion. Inspector LaRoche tells Agent Parker that the DOJ thinks an NCIS agent is providing intelligence to the Nexus cartel when NCIS Director Leon Vance and his future deputy talk about the leak with the team leader. The inspector's argument has substance because the development aligns with Casey's conclusions. After learning of the news, McGee deduces that the inspector refused to provide him access to secret case files from nearby agencies because of the DOJ's probe into NCIS, and McGee is alerted that his emerging adversary is the ideal suspect since LaRoche has access to troves of private data that he purports to safeguard. Tim may have been too quick to conclude that LaRoche was the NCIS mole, even though McGee's story makes sense. The tension in the premiere, where the men politely butt heads, may be the reason for McGee's readiness to assume that LaRoche is the villain. Additionally, McGee and LaRoche have distinct perspectives on justice. Whereas LaRoche appears to follow the letter of the law, McGee thinks creatively. Tim's judgment can be impaired by their disparities. Actually, given the DOJ's allegation that an NCIS agent was providing intelligence to the criminal organization, LaRoche's decision to deny a senior NCIS agent access to Nexus cartel data makes sense. The inspector provides intelligence to the Nexus cartel and requests further information from NCIS, according to one interpretation of LaRoche's career advancement to NCIS deputy director. But since LaRoche has access to FBI, DEA, and Homeland Security files at the DOJ, his job there is more favorable for a spy, therefore that development is illogical. On the other hand, LaRoche may have been employed by SecNav to sneak inside NCIS and find their mole. Leon informs McGee that the Secretary of the Navy was determined to hire someone from outside NCIS after Vance directly discloses that Tim was not selected for the deputy director post. Two hints to the mole conspiracy were disclosed in the NCIS Christmas episode. The deputy director was eventually shown returning to Washington in NCIS season 22, episode 9, Humbug, following a 2-month absence abroad. Even though the recently hired deputy occasionally acted strangely during the show, he eventually demonstrated that he was, maybe most importantly, a rule follower. Citing the fire regulations, LaRoche forces Casey to disconnect her space heater. In Humbug, meantime, another suspect quietly surfaces who has unfettered access to confidential material without supervision. He isn't noticed by the team, though. In season 22, Lennox Kincaid, an NCIS maintenance worker, may be another suspect. In episode 9, he tinkers with the thermostat in Vance's office while listening in on private information. Given that the deputy was the only one outside the room who was aware of Nick, McGee's assertion that LaRoche is the NCIS mole seems tenuous. McGee's ambiguous remark alludes to the enormous bullpen, where, during Nick's undercover assignment, Parker answered Agent Torres' aide request over the loudspeaker. Details regarding Nick's cover may have been overheard by dozens of staff members, expanding the potential outcomes of the mole case and the NCIS Season 22 finale.